Welcome back, dear learners. In our discussion today, let's continue from our previous lecture, The Rise of Consumerism. Consumerism, this is a term you have likely heard, but it's important to define it academically. Consumerism refers to a social and economic phenomenon categorized by the increasing consumption of goods and services by individuals. It is driven by mass advertising, marketing, and a constant societal pursuit of higher living standards. At its core, consumerism promotes an idea that greater consumption leads to improved well being and higher social status. This phenomenon truly emerged as a dominant cultural force in the 20th century, powered by the rise of mass production, global trade, and sophisticated marketing strategies. This culture of consumerism is categorized by several key aspects. First is materialism. Consumerism encourages us to place a strong emphasis on acquiring material possessions, using them as a measure of our success, happiness, and social status. Second, it promotes the idea of increased consumption as a goal in itself. Advertising and marketing work to convince us that consuming more leads to a better quality of life. This leads to a third, more problematic aspect, rapid product obsolescence. To keep consumption levels high, manufacturers often design products with intentionally short lifespan, sometimes called planned obsolescence, which creates a constant need for replacement. And this, of course, has fourth major consequence, a significant environmental impact. Increasing consumption inevitably leads to the depletion of natural resources, a massive increase in waste, and widespread pollution. So, while consumerism can drive economic growth, it also presents serious challenges. A perfect modern example of consumerism in action is Black Friday. What began as a single shopping day in the United States has become a global shopping event. It is defined by massive sales, huge promotional offers, and a sense of wild consumer spending. Retailers use this event very effectively to encourage consumers to buy more and more goods, often leading to impulsive and excessive purchasing behavior. It is a clear demonstration of consumption being promoted as an activity in itself. The rise in consumerism and the power of large corporations created a problem. Consumers were often at its disadvantage, facing unfair practices. In response, governments worldwide enacted legislation like the Consumer Protection Act. The overall goal of such laws is to protect consumers' rights and ensure a fair marketplace for everyone. In our analysis, we will focus specifically on India's Consumer Protection Act of 2019. This act is a comprehensive legal framework designed to protect the rights of consumers. It's not just a set of rules, it also provides a clear mechanism for addressing consumer grievances or complaints. It clearly outlines the rights and responsibility of consumers as well as the obligation of businesses. A cornerstone of the 2000 Act is its definition of six fundamental consumer rights. Let's look at the first three. First, the right to safety. This is the right for consumers to be protected from things that could hurt their health or safety, like faulty electronics or contaminated food. Second, the right to be informed. This gives consumers the right to have accurate and complete information about the goods and services they are buying. This includes things like ingredients, expiry dates, and proper usage instructions. Third, the right to choose. This means consumers have the right to select from a wide range of products and services. This right is designed to prevent monopolies and ensure that businesses compete fairly on price and quality. Continuing with the sixth rights, the fourth is the right to be heard. This means that people who buy things have the right to have their interest considered when government or business policies are being made that will affect them. Fifth, and perhaps most critical, is the right to seek redress. This is the right to get help. If a consumer is hurt by unfair business practices or defective goods, they have the right to seek compensation or a solution to their problem. Finally, the sixth right is the right to consumer education. This establishes that people have the right to learn about their rights and responsibilities as consumers, enabling them to make informed choices and protect themselves. So, a question naturally arises: who enforces these rights? The 2019 Act established a powerful new body called the Central Consumer Protection Authority or CCPA. This is a central regulatory authority whose entire purpose is to promote, protect, and enforce the rights of consumers. The CCPA has significant power. It can scrutinize consumer grievances, meaning it can investigate complaints. It can initiate measures against businesses that are involved in unfair practices, and importantly, it can enforce sanctions or penalties when companies fails to comply with the law. This gives the act real authority. For individual consumers seeking redress, the act provides a clear three-level system. This is the Consumer Dispute Redressal Commissions. Think of it as a special court system just for consumers. It operates on three tiers. At the base is the District Commission. This commission handles cases where the value of goods and services and the compensation being claimed is below a certain monetary limit. If the claim is larger, it goes to the State Commission, which has jurisdiction over cases that exceed the district's limit. Finally, at the top is the National Commission. This body handles the highest value cases. This tiered system also functions as an appeal process. If you are not satisfied with the district commission ruling, you can appeal to the state and from the state to the National Commission. The 2019 Act was a major update specifically because it addressed modern business practices. For example, it clearly defines and provides penalties for unfair trade practices. This includes things like false advertising, making misleading claims about a product, or unfair price manipulation. Crucially, the Act includes new e-commerce regulation. The old laws were not designed for online shopping. This Act has specific rule for e-commerce platforms, forcing them to disclose seller information, take some responsibility for products sold, and provide clear grievance redressal mechanisms for online shoppers. Finally, it introduces the concept of product liability. This is a very important point. It holds manufacturers, sellers, and service providers accountable for any harm caused to a consumer by a defective product or a deficient service. This means a consumer can seek compensation for harm resulting from a product defect. Let's recap this third section. We have seen that consumerism is a powerful social and economic force categorized by increasing consumption, which can lead to negative impacts and unfair practices. In response, government created laws like the Consumer Protection Act. The Indian Consumer Protection Act of 2019 is a modern framework designed to protect consumers and ensure a fair marketplace. It achieved this by clearly defining six fundamental consumer rights and, just as importantly, by creating powerful bodies to enforce those rights, the CCPA, and a legal structure for consumers to get help, the Redressal Commission. Addressing modern issues like e commerce and product liability, the Act's ultimate purpose is to help create an ethical and transparent marketplace where consumers are empowered and businesses are held responsible. This brings us to our final and broadest topic, the responsibilities of businesses. We often think of businesses in simple terms, they exist to make profit. But their role in society is far more complex. Businesses are truly vital to society. They boost the economy, they create jobs, and they strengthen society as a whole. With this significant role comes a wide range of responsibilities that businesses must uphold. These responsibilities go far beyond just obeying the law. They are about ensuring ethical, sustainable, and fair practices. Adhering to these responsibilities is what gives a business its social license to operate and is the key to creating long term value for everyone, not just shareholders. These are categorized into five key areas of responsibility. As you can see in this diagram, these are economic, legal, ethical, environmental, and social. A truly responsible business must pay attention to all five of these areas. Let's explore each one. The first and most basic responsibility is legal responsibility. This is the non negotiable obligation for businesses to comply with all the laws and regulation in the places where they operate. This forms the foundation of responsible behavior. This includes several key areas. First, compiling with labor laws. This means paying the minimum wage, adhering to rules on working hours, maintaining health and safety standards, and preventing workplace discrimination. Second, paying taxes. Businesses must accurately report their income and pay their fair share. Third, abiding by environmental regulation. Businesses must comply with laws aimed at reducing pollution and conserving natural resources. And fourth, as we just discussed, ensuring consumer protection. This means obeying laws like the Consumer Protection Act, guaranteeing product safety and avoiding misleading marketing. The next level up is ethical responsibility. This is about what a company should do, not just what it must do. This refers to the moral obligations of a business to act with integrity, honesty, and fairness in its dealing with the stakeholders it employs, customers, suppliers, and the wider community. What does this look like in practice? It means promoting fair labor practices, not just paying minimum wage, but ensuring workers are treated with dignity and respect, including workers in their global supply chains. It means ensuring product safety and quality as a moral commitment, not just a legal one. It also means acting with integrity and transparency, being honest in its dealing, and avoiding conflict of interest. And it involves implementing ethical marketing, which means avoiding deceptive or manipulative ads, especially any that might exploit unprotected groups. Third, we have environmental responsibilities. This has become one of the most critical issues of our time. This is the obligation for businesses to minimize their negative impact on the environment and contribute to the sustainable use of natural resources. This responsibility is very broad. It includes actively reducing pollution and greenhouse gas emission, often by investing in energy efficient technologies. It means conserving natural resources like water, minerals, and forest by adopting sustainable practices and reducing waste. It also extends to supporting biodiversity and ecosystem, taking steps to protect natural habitats that their operation might affect. A key modern concept here is encouraging a circular economy. This means designing products and processes that focus on reducing waste, reusing materials, and recycling resources to minimize the company's environmental footprints. Fourth are the social responsibility of a business. This refers to the need for a business to be a good citizen, to contribute positively to society, and help address social problems in the communities where it operates. This can take many forms. A common one is supporting local communities, such as by investing in local education, health, or infrastructure projects. A critical internal responsibility is encouraging diversity and inclusion. This means promoting equal opportunities for all individuals within the company, regardless of their gender, race, age, or background. It also means addressing larger social issues such as poverty or inequality through socially responsible practices, and very importantly, it includes promoting employee well being. This means prioritizing the health and future of employees by offering competitive pay, good benefits, a healthy work life balance, and opportunities for professional development. Finally, we have economic responsibilities. This may seem obvious, but it is the foundation upon which all the responsibilities are built. This is the obligation to contribute to economic growth and development. A business that is not economically viable cannot fulfill any other responsibility. The first part of this is generating profits. Businesses are responsible for creating value for their shareholders and stakeholders through efficient management and strategic decisions. But it's not just about profit, it's about creating employment opportunities by providing stable, well paying jobs. Businesses help improve living standards and reduce poverty. Furthermore, businesses are responsible for fostering innovation. Their investment in R&D drives the technological advancement that boost overall economic growth and productivity. And lastly, they have a responsibility to support local and regional economies by sourcing from local suppliers and investing in the communities where they are based. Let's conclude our lecture for today. We have covered a great deal of ground, moving from high level strategy to fundamental societal obligations. We started by comparing the product oriented approach of companies like Apple Inc. with the consumer oriented approach of companies like Amazon. We determined that the most effective strategy is often a balance of both. We then examined the social phenomenon of consumerism and the critical legal framework that emerged to manage it, the Consumer Protection Act, which empowers consumers and regulate businesses. Finally, we explored the five key responsibilities of business: its legal, ethical, environmental, social, and economic obligations. These responsibilities shows that a business duty extend far beyond just generating profits. The final thought to leave you with is this: in our increasingly interconnected and transparent world, businesses that prioritize this full range of responsibility, that act as responsible corporate citizens, are not only doing the right thing, they are also the ones most likely to succeed, build lasting values, and thrive in the long run. I hope you all gain insights into the business environment. Thank you, dear learners, for your attention. Maintain your exploration, remain curiosity driven, and persist in your pursuit of knowledge.